That's what I'm imagining. It's just some sort of like, I don't know, Indian K-pop trash metal.
Thank you, Bran. That's very nice.
It's a compliment, I think.
No, anyway, brain scans. So we played Spot the Difference, and unfortunately we found a difference. So at the bottom of my brain is a new thing and some other new things.
At the stem.
And yeah, at the stem, which makes me very concerned. Because I don't want it in my spine, because once it's in your spine, that means it's going to start like messing with my motory skills. So, she said, it's very clear that me running a marathon was a bad idea. She said you can see it in like this like, she's like, I can see here, you basically, this is where you did it to yourself. And I was like, yeah. So she was like, no more marathons at all, ever. She's like, do you understand? And it was bad because I already heard this on the Andrew Huberman podcast. He talked about like long endurance training and how for an average healthy person, it drastically reduces their immune system when they run a marathon. And I was like, I'm immune compromised, but we're going to ignore that fact. But then I ran the half marathon untrained, and that was a very, very bad idea, apparently, because I'm not supposed to do that to myself. And the fact that I vomited twice during my half marathon should have made me be like, maybe this is a bad idea. But I am Afrikaans, and if you're Afrikaans, you're very stubborn. We have this thing of like, ha, and then, Yeah. So I ha and then broke myself. So she was like, none of that.
That's why trying to explain, it's really interesting to see people like Afrikaners expression if you try to explain burnout to them. No. They're just like, no, I no comprendo. Anyway,
no hablo Afrikaans.
Mostly it's a virtue, but sometimes it's not good.
Yeah, so with me it's not good. We've now learned. She was like, and I got really panicked. I was like, do you mean I can't run anymore? And she said, no, you can still run. Just none of this crazy endurance stuff. And yesterday I was like, that's okay. There's lots of other sport. You know, I can cycle, I can like swim, I can do all kinds of things. And then I was like, wait, can I still do via ferratas? And she just looked at me like, why can't you just be normal? And I was like, via ferratas. And she said, as long as I have good balance, I can do it, but I'm not allowed to do anything crazy. And I was like,
I'm just looking at sort of the brain anatomy part.
I can
give
you
the spinal cord and the cerebellum.
It's not the cerebellum. It's something with a P in German. It's the
pons.
Yes. It's the pons.
So there's scarring in the pons.
There's scarring in the pons. That sounds funny.
And what does the pons do? Yeah, pons doesn't think of cheerleaders, but anyway.
There's scarring in the palms. Go team!
Okay. Anyway, so the palms, what's that sort of part? Is that what part? Motory. What's that responsible for?
I don't know. Do I look like a neurologist? Do you Google that? I don't know.
Google, what is
the pons? Shake your pom-pom, shake your pom-pom.
Responsible for?
Don't shake your pom-pom, ladies and gentlemen.
The pons is a part of the brain stem responsible for relaying signals between the cerebrum and the cerebellum, managing crucial functions like breathing.
Oh shit.
And sleep-wake cycles, controlling sensory and motor information from the face and head.
And that checks out.
Fucking hell. That's a good, fuck you, MS.
Yes.
Why did you target that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
But the good news is, that means because she's worried about me, because my eyes aren't better, in 2 weeks I get to do 5 days of full cortisol treatments. That means I get a sexy infusion of delicious Earl Grey tea. Now I get a very nice infusion, a cocktail of cortisol, and then it's actually, I know it's very bad and it's supposed to like kick up my immune system to make it work again. It's like, do you remember that motorcycle you had that you really had to like kick and kick and kick so it like roared to life? Yes, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, kickstart, yeah.
Yes, so it's gonna kickstart my system again. And when you get the cortisol infusion, dude, you get so much energy. I am so much stronger in the gym. Suddenly I'm just like, I have the strength of 10 men. It's like drinking that. I'm sure now I know that elixir in Asterix and Obelix was just this, it was just cortisol.
cortisol.
This is cortisol or cortisol something.
Oh man.
So, but yeah, today.
How big is the scarring compared to the rest of the scarring?
I mean, the rest of the scarring is bigger, of course, and it's older, and I can't do anything about it. Wow. But I have to say, like, today it really hit me, the feeling of, like, somewhere in my crazy brain, because I had run the marathon, I had ideas like, maybe I can even aim for an ultra marathon if I like practice well enough, or I had all these plans for Via Ferratas next year, and I'm suddenly just like, I get a very all or nothing approach sometimes, where I just went from like I want to like I don't want to do any sport anymore. Like I'm just like in a very low place. But then I had breakfast and now I feel better. So you just go through, and then I'm like no.
Jeez, man. But I mean, is it? So what bothers you about that? Is it sort of the finality of like, so the marathon? So you did your second marathon now, right?
No. It was a half marathon.
Yeah, you did a half marathon.
Wait.
So knowing that like the marathon that we ran was the last marathon that we did, or that you did, sort of that finality is it that hits you? What's that part? It's like there's a door that closes now that says like, no, this is now out of the picture, or?
Yeah, it's a thing of like, I never made this decision. The decision was made for me, but also the decision was also made by me. And I'm wondering if I hadn't done that, would I still be healthy? I mean, I'm never healthy, but you know what I mean? Like, did I hurt myself in this process more than I thought I did? Is the first thing. And then like, how can I not do this again? What can I do? Where do I need to like scale down my dreams? Stuff like that. And it's a weird thing to start thinking, I'm not even like 40. I'm not even like an old lady. And I'm like, how can I? And everyone else is like, go to dreams. And I'm like, no, can I scale my dreams down? But no, yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it depends. So maybe it's just, you can't do a marathon. The way you can do a marathon is somewhat limited. So it's like you can still do a marathon, just break it down into sections and then run too fast and maybe walk half of the time.
That's what I did for my first marathon. She was like, there's no timing. I'm like, do you understand, woman, that once I crossed that finish line, I was like, and emotional damage, game over, queen. I didn't time my marathon. I just ran, and then I walked for 2 kilometers, and then I hit that. I will never forget this moment in my first marathon. I was just like running, and I was like, I'm so tired. And then I saw 2 kilometers, and I was like, I can fucking do it, man. And somewhere you get out of nowhere, you get energy. And then as I turned the corner, I realized that the sign was 12 kilometers, and I broke down. I was just like, no. Just like, I can't, I don't have 12 more kilometers in me. So I think I walked like 3 more kilometers or something.
Yeah.
And then I limped to the finish line. And you could see who the half marathon runners were, because they were all like, hup, 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 the fastest half marathon runners versus the like army of the dead marathon runners. Yes. Because I was at the tail of the marathon runners. But anyway, not the point. The point is,
what's the point?
The point is, it hurts me to like, the killing of dreams, the thing that like some part of life was taken away from me, some potential was taken away. This idea of like, I will probably never ever run like a full, what do you call it? The bigger the 100K stuff.
Yeah.
Because us, we're Schoemans. We're like, okay, I ran a 5K, so now I can do a 20K, so now I can do a half marathon. We're like, we never go like 2K, 5K, 7K, 10K. We're always like, I ran a 5K, so I'm planning for a marathon. So now that's just like, whoop, at once just dead. And it makes me sad. Because now I also feel a little bit lost in like, how can I prevent this from happening again? Like, how can I still do sport, but not... Where's the point where I'm like, you're overdoing it now?
Well, I mean, so not that you're asking my advice,
but I might give it to you anyway. As your younger brother.
My knee-jerk response to that is obviously like doing very low impact type of stuff, but then just more consistently. So like maybe twice a day, like 20 minutes, you know,
Twice
so
a
it's,
day. Where in your life do I have twice a day time to go and do low impact? What kind of life do you live? I have a job.
get a job, bro.
Get a job, Rotato. No, but I get what you're saying. I'm with you on the low impact. But we'll see. Like I
No,
just
but you don't understand what I'm saying. Like, it's not like intense workout. It's not like you're doing like HIIT training twice a week. It's like instead of HIIT training twice a week, it's like let's do like go for a walk every day twice, or like go for a walk every day and then do some basic stuff. You know,
I think it's
just like more, you know, sort of like spread it out more.
maybe I still don't think that's a breaking point. I think it's really more the longer endurance stuff, the stuff that goes into 3-4 hours. I think a normal hour workout is not gonna like do my system damage. Not even if it's hit. I think it's just this thing of like I need to be more aware of that like not going against my body when it's like I really can't. Then I should be like, okay, let's take a break. Or even let's stop. Instead of just being like, I know you just threw up, but we can still run and throw up.
Yeah, it's weird because it's kind of like it's about like finding the balance between I have to push it, but I can't stop. Because if I stop, that's not good for me. If I push it too far, that's not good for me. So like what's that sort of weird gray area in between? You know?
Disgusting. Once again, balance is in my life.
Also about maybe not, you know, over analyzing the future in a way, and more being like, okay, let's just look very factually at what's happening right now in my life. So essentially, your limit is so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to downplay the limitations, right?
Typical.
So what I'm trying to say is, so like a regular person who's in their early 30s or 20s, they can do a half marathon without training, right? You can't do that.
Not recommended, but yes, you can.
It's not. I mean, obviously, you're going to suffer. It's possible for a normal person, but that's the only thing I'm saying is that, like, okay, you can't do a half marathon, but like that doesn't mean like that's a pretty high bar. Like doing a half marathon without exercising is already like quite like it's quite up there. So there's like a lot of things that is let's say below that bar that you still have access to, right?
I know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the like of a half, you know.